Hi there, everyone. How are you? Welcome to another YouTube and Facebook Live. It is I, Lilith, for altenew, and I will be your host today. And we'll be crafting with some fun products. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in, jump in, wave hello, tell me where you're from, and then we can get started. So I hope you're all doing well on this lovely Monday. And today I'm going to be crafting with a really fun new product which has just been released at altenew. Hi Lisa. Hoi, goedenavond, Badia. Hoe gaat het ermee? So hi there everyone. I hope you're all well, that you've had a great start to your week. Hi Vicky from Phoenix, lovely. Hi Stacey, south of Florida. Always so fun to see where all of you are from. I'm here in Belgium, in the south. It's been a great day, a bit like I still got my jumper on, so it's like between spring weather, between temperatures, a bit, sometimes a bit warm but then a bit chilly. So there we go. Hi Cece from Sweden, a bit warmer. Yeah, that's what we're saying here as well. So as usual, Joanna is going to be behind the altenew badge, and she's going to be popping in all the supplies I'm using today. And we're going to be crafting, and I'm going to be making a slimline card with you today using our newest craft a flower set from altenew. So this is one of our subscriptions. We've got a build a flower, we've got a craft a flower, we've got a paint a flower, and something new is coming up really soon. So I hope keep your eyes open. Just reading some of the comments. Yes, Brianna, it's a lovely, lovely set. I love all of the crafted flowers. Oh, leuk hoor, Badia. Ja. In Leuven. Ik heb daar gestudeerd. I studied in Leuven. There we go. So, hi, Michelle. Hi, Sharon. Thank you, Sue, for sharing. Hi, Carmen. Okay, yeah, don't forget to share. I always forget to remind you about it. Do share while this is live, because you could win a lovely gift voucher to our store. So this is the craft a flower set. It's always a bit strange to see the craft a flower sets, because it's just like your craft a flower dies, and then you've all got the different pieces. And this is what I love about them. I'm a huge puzzle fan. I love puzzles, and this is a bit like puzzling, and you create something really fun with it. Hi, Liz from Reno. Hi, Carmen from Toronto. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for joining. So this is the set I'm going to be using. Now you can use gradient cardstock, but today I'm going to be creating my own gradient colors because I didn't have quite the yellow I wanted. So I have taken out, I think it's the Golden Sunset. So I'm going to pop you down. Now I can walk you through the different supplies. Hi, Pauline. There we go. Okay, I'm going to switch up another light. Yay. Oh, good morning in New Zealand. Wow. So this is the set, and these are the inks I'm going to be using. I've got my scrunchie here. So this is the Golden Sunset. I've got Sunray, Chamomile, Snapdragon, and Marigold. So they are going a bit more towards the orange colors, so less yellowy. And then for my greens, I've got the greens from the Spring Bouquet set. I wanted something fresh. Hi, Bobby. Oh, it's Aurum today. I didn't know. I thought it was Joanna. Oops. Sorry about that. So limeade, lime, and fresh leaf. Hi, Aurum. It's Aurum behind the badge. Got that mixed up. I should check the spreadsheet a little bit more often. I've also got some evening gray ink. We're going to be creating a fun background with this. Yeah, we're so used to having Joanna. And I've also got the woven stencil. I thought it'd be, usually when I create cards, I always forget to create a background, and that it's fun to create backgrounds. So I've got this woven stencil out. I think it's a really subtle one to make fun backgrounds with. Hi, Hi, Sue. Oh, yes, I can't wait to see what I make myself because I haven't used this set yet. So here we go. So we're going to start by creating our colored cardstock because I'm not going to be using the gradient, but if you've got gradient cardstock at home, you can go ahead. I've already cut down my panel here. Oops. My camera has a hard time focusing on white. So I've cut down my panel, which is going to be for my card here. So slimline cards, you can make them whatever size you like. I do like 3 1/4 by 8 or 8.5. So either a bit shorter or a bit longer, but that's kind of my go-to size. And I've just cut out a couple of panels which are 3 inches wide so that I can pop them in my mini blossom. And I've got some leftovers which I'll also use just to ink up for my leaves, etc. So this is a great way of using up extra white cardstock that you've got lying around, cut-offs or anything like that. So let's get started. I'm going to start working on creating my colored panels. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, and I'll probably use 3 of the colors because I've got 3 colors here, like so. So I'm just going to ink up my panels. So let's start with the first one, which is Sun Ray. I'm going to use my larger blending tool because these are larger images, so I do need to cover a larger surface a lot more quicker, so the larger ones are perfect. So there we go. Let's just start. I've got a piece of scrap paper just beneath it. Hello, Trudy. Oh, you're welcome, Jane. Don't forget, yeah, and everyone has just joined. I'm using the new Crafted Flower Buttercup, and I'm creating my own colored cardstock. Or white. There we go. So I'm just going to add my color onto here, and because you're blending your color, you can make it as dark or as light as you want. So the more color you add to it, and you could probably just use 1 ink and go from a very pale to a darker. So that is also a possibility. And with these large blending tools, it's so easy to create a panel. Really, really, really super, super duper easy. Hi, Monica from Sweden. I'm so glad you could join us today. So this is the Sun Ray, which is this lovely kind of yellowy, but already got a kind of a golden or orangey tint to it, but very subtle. It's still very yellow. So I really like the look of that panel already. So that's one done. You can see how quick that is. So really super duper easy. So that's done. Oh, I know I love the blending brushes. So let's go in with our next color, which is Chamomile. There we go. So I'm just using the same blending brush for all my colors because they're in the same family. And I'm going from a lighter to a darker shade. So that's not too much of an issue. So as you can see, the shade is a little bit darker. I'm going to build this up so that there is a different. Oh, I know. There we go. Brianna, you can always try and see if you've got maybe a local store that gets them, or online store which is local to you or like in your area. So this is our Chamomile. It's a really, really pretty color. I love this one too. So I'm just building this up a little bit. So there we go. You can see we got a nice difference between both. Oh, sorry, I've got my I've got hay fever, and each year it's a bit different. And this year, my ears are kind of funny, and so especially now with the weather changing, we've got like more humid and kind of sticky weather, but it's not really hot. Lots of wind. I'm having so much trouble with pressure in my ears, and so it's really strange. My ears are popping all the time. My head is spinning. So I've got a little dizzy spell over here, and I'm sitting down, which is really strange. But it's hay fever. Oh, they do try them out, Monica. What's fun about our inks is they come in sets. We've got the larger ink pans like these, or we do have smaller ones. So if you want to test the smaller ones out, you can always do that. There we go. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know probably New Zealand is, I know it's kind of really hard to get stuff like stuff over there. Like here in Belgium, we don't have a lot of stores that carry altenew, but I can go like shop maybe in the Netherlands. There are a couple of stores, but it's like it's harder. So this color is a lot deeper. So I did mess it up a little bit. So I'm going to try and kind of blend that out. Hi, Denise. Oh, I'm so glad you got to catch me as well. Always nice to see all these fun, familiar faces. Hi, Avril. Yeah. You know, I used to do that. I would save up, and then I would like have a long time to think about what I really needed. So I would pick like the stuff I really wanted, and then I would like splurge and just let everything come at once. I don't know, maybe. Oh, there we go. But just told me I don't need to buy altenew. They just sent it to me, but good to know about the store in Belgium. There we go. I think maybe if you look in Australia, would that be cheaper? I don't know. Oh. So we've got our colors down there. If it's still a little bit blotchy, that's okay, because we will be cutting out. So here we've got our 3 panels. And look at how pretty they are. You can really see the differences between the different panels and the different colors. So we've got our 3 panels over here. I'm also going to do the same with the green. The leaves only come in 1 layer, but we do have this kind of little stem to pop our buttercup onto, and this one as well. So I'll probably be doing, let me just see, can I pop it onto there? Yeah, I might just be doing 2 colors of green. There we go. So maybe I should take a larger blending brush for the greens as well. It will be a lot easier. There we go. So I think I'm going to skip the lightest color and go straight in with lime. So for our leaves on the Crafter Flower Buttercup. There we go. So let's just kind of, this is such a pretty color. I love, 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 love this color, lime. It's like a really vibrant spring green. That's why it's in the spring bouquet set. There we go. So that's the first color done. So pretty. And I'm going to go in with a darker shade, which is Fresh Leaf. Yes, you do. I mean, these are flowers. So, I mean, the colors and the petals aren't like just flat colors all the same. They do have like little streaks and differences in it. So let's just go in with our darker shade and just kind of blend that all out on a little strip. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Let's go. So let's just get that nice and dark. I do want a bit of a difference with the other one, so I'm going to add more and more color to this just to darken the shade. So that's another nice thing about our colors. If you build them up, they will darken. So sometimes if you need like 5 shades, you could just build up on maybe your second and your third or your last shade and just stamp over them or just color them out. You can cut that. You can do that, Monica. Cut them out and then color them. It's just, it's so tiny. Some of the pieces are so tiny, so it's a little bit difficult. But yeah, I'm using the altenew white cardstock. The, what's it called? Crest Solar White. Okay. And I have noticed when you're blending, you might, if you want to kind of soften the colors, you just go in with a lighter shade and the colors will dry out a bit. So they might seem a bit harsh at first, but it does dry out and it kind of softens a bit. So I'm just going to go over this with a lighter shade, kind of blending that color out. There we go. So we've got our 2 shades of green over here. There we go. And I think that will work for today. So I'm going to keep this for a little bit later on. My fingers are nice and inky. I have to be really careful now when I touch my card base. Let's just put that to one side. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's just put these back in their little holders. There we go. So let's get out our craft flower, Buttercup. So in our Buttercup set, we've got the larger flower, which is built up of 4, let me just think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So you've got the first one, which is going to be your base color. And this is a bit different than our stamping. We're going to start with the darkest shade. So the fullest image is going to be our darker shade. So we can pop it on there. I'm just going to take a little bit of tape and stick it on. So then we're going to take our next one, which has got a little tiny detail over there, and we're going to do that in our lightest shade, as you can see here. Sorry about that. So that's our lightest shade. So you can follow on here as well. Oh, my ears. Oh, it's awful. Horrible feeling. I know I don't get baby wipes. Usually what I do is I get my little cloth here and I will just spray some of my, I've got a little spray here, and then I just clean my fingers with that. It's my own homemade. Thank you, Kay. So, and then we're going to go in with our next shade, which is like the more detailed image, which we've got over here, which is going to be in this, like our medium color. So I've already cut out my cardstock to the right size so I can fit it in the mini blossom. Because I do like my larger machines. They're just so bulky and I can't fit them on my table here. And then we've got this last little like part of a petal here, which we can add on for dimension, which is over here down at the bottom. So I'm just going to pop that onto the darker shade as well here. There we go. Like so. we've got a little tiny bud over here, so we're going to place those directly onto our paper as well. So we've got this one over here, which is once again our fullest image. So we're going to do that with the darker, so the darkest shade once again. Hi, Gwen. If you've just joined us, we are using the crafter flower. I don't know why I say painter flower all the time. The crafter flower Buttercup, which was just released. And then we're going to go, oh no, I've mixed this up. The fuller image is going to be in our lighter shade. Silly me, a lighter shade. That's me going too quickly. And then the more detailed one, it's really minimum. You've got like these little parts sticking out, which is this one over here. We're going to do that one in the darkest shade. Let me just check. It's evening for me. I'm a bit tired. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, we do love our little thumbs up. There we go. Just going to check some of the... Yeah, I know, you're right. When you've got inky fingers, it means you've had fun. So we've got this little set down now. We do need to tackle our greens. So I'm going to just prep all my pieces and then we can cut them out all at once. So there we go. So I think I'm going to do my large stem here in the darkest shade. Oops. Let's see if I can fit it in there. Can I fit it on there? Oh, it's going to be in the lighter one. Let's just do the lighter one here. So I can't fit it on my little strip. Oh, Caprice, you'll have so much fun for this one. And then we'll pop our other leaves on here. So we've got one here. And then we've got our little tiny elements as well. We'll try and fit everything on there. Oops. And we've got our little pieces over here. So these are the little pieces, the inside. So let's pop it on there as well. I'm just going to try and get everything on there. See, I might cut out some extra flowers. We'll just see how that goes. So I'm just going to pop on a large strip of masking tape that will just hold. Oh, it won't hold everything in place. It's not large enough. Yay! Romain, so glad you could make it. There we go. A lot of masking tape on an itty-bitty piece of paper. So let's get this cut out with our little mini blossom. I'm going to use my little metal shim because because I have noticed that sometimes when I put several pieces through the die cut machine, sometimes it doesn't cut all the way. So that's just a little bit of extra precaution, especially because I am live. Okay, I'm just going to stick this down so it doesn't move. And then let's just pop it through the machine. A little tip, when you're working with the metal shim, it is an extra layer and you might have a hard time starting the cut process or the wheeling process. So I always leave like a little part between my plates where there's no shim, and that way it goes through a lot easier. And then I can just do my little turning movements and get everything cut. Oh, Therese, there are so many pretty cards. If you want to see lots of inspiration, do go check out the blog hop with all the designers that participated. I didn't participate. I have to choose which releases I participate in because I don't have time to create for all of them. So it's always fun to do a Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Then I get to use the products. So here you can see I'm being very careful and just pulling those little leaves out. Look at how pretty they look. They are so, so pretty. And that's just a lovely, lovely green. So let me just pull away the tape. I can reuse that a bit later on. Oops. So there we go, another little leaf. I sometimes just use the tape to pull out the die cuts. There we go. Oh, Teresa, sometimes I don't know either. But I used to do a lot more of the releases because I have other obligations now as well at Altenew, like the Altenew Academy. So that takes a bit of time. Yay! I know that the blending tools, especially the large ones, I really like them. And I know a lot of people sometimes have like a bit of trouble with their joints or things like that. And this one is perfect. So I've got my little pieces there as well. I like keeping these. I sometimes use them when I layer on my layouts. So it's such a shame to throw away a lovely piece of green. So let's go with the next little pot here. So let's make the sandwich. There we go. Come on. Sometimes, oh, there we go. It's got. Ah, I know. Oh yeah, I know. You have to put it like you put your first. I always start with my B plate, then I put my paper, and then I put my die. Then I put the metal shim, and then I put this on top. If you put the metal shim on top, it will bend. So you have to put it between the two. Those tiny pieces. I know it's dangerous leaving the pieces there. Sometimes I've gone crazy because I've got these little pieces and I'm wondering where did they go? Come on. Okay. So here we've got our little stem with the leaf on there. Let's just keep that as well. And let's go and cut our flowers. This one is larger, but anyway, I am going to put the shin on there. Isn't it a cardinal sin to use one brush for different colors? Okay. It's a sin then. I'm a sinner if it's the case. Come on, go through. Why would you go through? Okay, let's go. I just don't. I have 4 brushes. I got 4 brushes, and I kind of do with my 4 brushes. I even don't have time to order new brushes. That's how scarce my time is. So I just make do with my 4 brushes. So there we've got our little piece over there. Oh, I love that kind of orange color. Look at that. They look so nice together. Oh, they're so pretty. I might just pop them on there again. I might just make a second flower as well. Let's just do that. Let's go in with our next layer. Okay, I'm going to switch this up a bit because maybe I've got another bead one. Yay, I've got another bead plate, which is a bit straighter. Let's just do this. Oh, I'm so glad I gave you some information about the metal shim. It's really handy if you're doing like really intricate and more detailed, like the more detailed layers. We've got like pieces going in like this one. It's always the shim always gets them done, and it kind of evens out the pressure. I used to like add an extra piece of cardstock to get the same effect, but the metal shim is a lot easier. Come on, pop out. There we go. So as you can see, this one is a little bit more detailed. There we go. And if you wanted to, I might do that in a next video. I can show you how you can layer using these cutouts. Yeah, I should do that too. There we go. When it starts to bend, just turn it around. Yeah, I'm using yellows from the golden sunset color. So it goes from like yellow to a more orangey, like really like a sunset. So it's a really lovely color. Do you know what I do when I use a lighter color? I will just take a piece of scrap paper. I'll just show you here, okay? And I will just go like this until, and as you can see, I've already done a darker color before, but there's kind of nearly no color on there left. So, I mean, that's how I do it. So let's just cut this one now. Oh, I'm cutting this one twice. Okay, let's just do this. I'm chatting away. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Why would it do that? And it doesn't do it on YouTube. That's weird about the stream. There we go. So we've got that cut out. Just pop that over there. And our last one. And then we can start building our little, yeah, that's weird. That on Facebook it would do that. I don't know why. So it's probably nothing to do with my side of things. It's probably Facebook. Okay. Probably it's just Facebook in certain places. Never know. There we go. So this is our lighter shade. There we go. I might just cut out a second one too. That way, I think it'd be nice just to have two flowers for the layering. So have a couple of options there. Oh, there you go. Probably depends from. Oh, rap. My accent is so British. Well, I do have some South African hints in there. I live in Belgium, but I grew up in South Africa. So English is my mother tongue. And I've got kind of this mix of a British accent because when my parents moved back to Belgium, because my parents are Belgian, when my parents moved back, they didn't move back to Belgium, they moved to Luxembourg, and I went to the European school and all my teachers were British. And so I kind of changed my accent a little bit, but I do still have some lingering traits from South Africa. There we go. But when I'm on Facebook, I really when I do lives, I really try to talk like I would do in the classroom because I teach English, so I kind of make it a bit cleaner. But otherwise, my eyes aren't very nice. See, I'm trying to say nice and not nice, like I would probably. There we go. No, it's not Belgian at all. It's not. And when I speak French, the people don't know what my accent is otherwise. There we go. It's kind of a mix of everything. There we go. So let's start building our little flower. I think I've got everything. Yeah, I have. So let's just pop these out. So once again, this is very new to me as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my little cardboard here, and use that as, let me just stick everything on here because I feel I'm going to lose my little pieces. Because that's what I do. I lose dies and then I find them in the weirdest of places. Okay. Okay, I think I've got everything on there, so I won't lose it. So let's just turn this around, and then we can use this as guideline. Oh, does it? No. When I get together with Lydia, I think mine switches back more to my South African accent because I'm like more chitty-chatty. There we go. And here I'm all by myself, so I can only hear myself. So I'm really trying to have a nice accent. There we go. So let's start. We're going to start with our darkest shade. And then we're going to add our lightest shade, which is this one. Okay. And what you're going to do is I'm going to try and hold it up. I have a die at the top of the table. Sandra. You know me. I'll probably just leave it there. And then I'll be thinking like in a week, where did this die come from? So these are pretty easy to line up. You're going to want to line up with the outer edges here and your little swirls at the bottom. So I'm going to just use my glue over here. This is my tacky glue. Oh, if it doesn't want that. It's really tacky. There we go. So I usually kind of use this glue because it doesn't dry too fast. And I've got a little bit, and there's another little dye up there as well. Okay, let's just pop it back on. I don't know. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to line this up like so. And what will happen is you'll just have that darker shade peeking through it there. As you can see that. These line up really nicely. And if you use a glue that kind of doesn't dry too much, you can wiggle around with it until it is really... There we go. I sound lovely speaking Flemish. And Vlaams, yeah. It's funny because my grandparents are from Antwerp and they have like a really typical accent from Antwerp. Oh, Pauline, but you wonder, right? I'm not South African, but I'm a South African by heart. I grew up there. It's like, it's my reference, I would say. I'm a bit from everywhere. I grew up in South Africa. Then we moved to Luxembourg, where I spent my high school years. And then I moved to Belgium, where I live with my husband. So I'm a bit of everything. Yeah. Antwerp. There you go. So you can see I've already started building the first flower. I've got my 3 layers on there. And just look at how fantastic that looks. Oh, Sandra, I kind of lose. I've got a couple of dies here laying around. I don't know where they're from. You see this one? So, oh yeah. So here you can see how that already looks. And now the next step is to put this one on here. So I'll try and get this up. Ah, thank you. It's from everywhere. So this one pops on top here. So we're going to pop it on top. But what I'm going to do is just add some foam tape just to add that extra little bit of dimension. So I'm going to be using the altenew foam tape roll here. I could use my little squares, but I'm sick and tired of using those. There. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece like so. Whoops, there we go. Oh yeah, I've already found things in plant pots as well. Like, so I'm just going to pop on a little, oh, let's just put it on the right side, Lilith. Don't put it on the colored side. There we go. And then I'm going to place that on here. And it will just add a little bit of dimension. I'm going to try and hold it up to the camera so you can see it. So it's just going to add a little bit of dimension to that little flower. Me too. I love a big roll of foam tape. So much better than my little squares, which I would literally have all over my clothes. Okay, so we've got our little flower done, and all we need to do is add our teeny tiny, and I haven't got my tweezers here because that would have been really perfect. I'm going to add this little piece of green to the center of my flower there. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue on there, and I'm going to try and do this with my hands. You should actually do this with something like pliers. So I'm going to kind of pop it in there, and kind of with this kind of glue, it's good because you can still move it around. So I might just use my little pin and kind of push it in the right place, like so. Come on, put down. Like so. There we go. So you've got just a little bit of green peeking out from beneath. I know. I remember one time I used to teach only in the afternoon. So in the morning, I would sometimes do my craft projects, and then I would go to school, and my students would laugh because I would have stuff sticking to me and I would have icky fingers. What are you doing, Mrs. E? Because they call me Mrs. E. Oh, I'm playing around with stuff. So let's work on our second flower. That way it's done. So this is a great way. If you want to do, I would advise you to do like batch coloring, batch blending, and then cut everything out in batches and then glue everything down in batches. Even if you have too many flowers, you can always use it on another project. There we go. Oh yeah, it's better than toilet paper. There we go. There we go. Up. Let's just pop a bit on there. Now, another thing you could do before cutting it out is just pop this onto the altenew double-sided tape, and then you can cut them out, and that way you already have the tape on there, and that would be a lot easier. I kind of forgot to do that. I should do that maybe the next time, just to show you how you can use that double-sided tape. There we go. Once again, we're going to use a little bit of our foam tape. I've got a little piece ready here, and pop that onto our little dimensional part. You don't have to do it. It's not. And if you wanted to, you could leave it as such. I do like adding this little kind of finishing touch, like so. And then I don't have a green element here, but that's okay. I might just pop it underneath, so we'll just see how that goes. And now we're going to work on these two little pieces. So we've got our little buds. These are really easy to layer. We're just going to start with our, I think I've done something wrong. Oh no, like so. No, I've done it right. Silly me. There we go. Like so, and then I'm going to have a look at some of them. There we go. Okay, how does this go again? No, not that. I'm having a hard time doing those smaller ones, and it's just like 2 layers. There we go. So I think I did these ones the wrong way. I did like lighter and then darker, but that's okay. Let's just, because here they say dark and light, and here it's the other way around. So, and then you can stick down your little green piece here. What time is it? Do I still have time to cut out some green pieces? Yeah, I think I do. So I'm just going to stick this down. I'm just going to cut out 2 of these little green pieces so I can add them. I do like that. So that these 2 little elements should be quick and easy. Oh, I've got a hair. There we go. Pop those down. We'll do it in our darker shade. So you still got a little bit of space on there. Let's just see. Up. Well, these are teeny tiny. I'm so afraid I'll lose these. They are so tiny. And Where did I put my plates? That's so me. They're like the biggest thing in the world. They're over here. Yeah, the flowers are really pretty. I'm always amazed once they're finished how pretty they look. They really look so nice. Okay, let's just do this. 2 teeny tiny dies. Hi, Lori. Oh, I'm watching for the first time. Oh, great. Oh, the flowers from altenew. Yeah, they're some of my favorites. I'm a huge flower fan. I've already got all my list with all the flowers for the garden. I'm just waiting for next weekend to arrive, because that's when, here in French they call it the Sainte Glace. So it's like the last time you could have below freezing temperatures. So once that's gone, I can start working on my flowers for the windowsills, and so excited. I spend a lot of money on flowers too, crafting supplies and flowers. There we go. There we go. So I've got these little ones cut out again, so I can just finish off my little buds. What I've already had with dies is that when I have my Misty tool and I have a magnet on it, it will kind of stick to my magnet. Or when I'm working with my iPad on the table, on my craft table, and I have got to protect my tablet, it's kind of metallic, and so, or it's kind of magnetic, and so sometimes dies stick to it. And then I go upstairs, and then I've got a die sticking to my tablet. Oh yeah, the garden. A lot of money has gone into the garden. There we go. So I'm just going to place my little green element in here. I know it took me a long time to find out what glue I liked. For larger ones, I do like the altenew tape roller, but I like with like a tacky glue or anything very similar to this. It dries colorless, it remains flexible, and you can move it around a little bit. So these are just cut outs from so those are like in between pieces. So there we go. So I've got all my pieces ready here. There we go. So let's start putting everything together on my slimline card. So in theory, I should have more flowers, but don't have a lot of time. I am going to quickly create a fun background for this one. Where is my, where did I put it? Okay, here. I've got to get my woven stencil. Oh, the Misty. This is the Misty. This is a Misty tool, this one. It's a stamp positioner. So you've got like this work surface where you can place, for example, your card in, and then your stamp would go on here, and then you stamp. And usually there's a magnet on there, like so. There we go. Up. We do have them in the store. There we go. So I'm going to use my woven stencil just to add a little bit of detail to the background. And I'm just going to add a little bit of gray, but not over the whole surface. So just adding a couple of spots just to add a bit of detail. So gray, I'm going to be using evening gray. Let's go. So I'm just going to kind of, okay, let's do like so. I'm going to hold this nice in place. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this, not all over the whole card base, just a little bit, just to add a bit of detail. You can kind of pull it up and see where you've already been. I'm just going to Oops. Here at the top, and then I can pull it away. So I want it to be very light and very subtle, just a little bit, just to create that kind of soft look. So I'm going to try and line them up a little bit like so. So then when I So this is the smaller blending brush. I like to use this like with more finer elements, like here with this stencil. So I'm just kind of add a bit more here. There we go. Just very subtle. I just want if you hold it up, you can just see in some spaces you've got this kind of trellis look. It's a woven. It's the woven stencil from altenew. But anything. It's the woven stencil, but we've got lots of very similar ones. The bubble wrap one is one of my favorites, but I thought I'd use something different because I always use the bubble wrap, or the little dots would work really well too. And I just love the look of that kind of yellow against the green. It's something so pretty. So I'm going to kind of play around a little bit with how I want this to look now. It's a bit funny. Just to have everything here at the bottom. See, I might not even use that. I think I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to cut this like so and have this popping out from the side here, just because I think that would look better. So I'm going to stick that down. Once again, I'm going to use my foam tape because I want to add extra dimension. There we go. Foam tape. Like so, okay. And this one I'm just going to glue down as such. You could also add foam tape to it. There we go. And then I'm going to pop this one like so, just slightly underneath it, but popping up. Like so. I have got my little leaf here, so I'm just going to cut off the little bit of the stem here and here. That way I can use it. Nothing goes to waste. There we go. Pop it underneath there. So I want to kind of just create a cluster like more in the center of my slimline card. I'm really, sizes is so hard. I've just gotten used to making A2 size cards because I'm a scrapbooker. So I'm kind of, my comfort zone is like 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11.5. So I was just about getting used to the smaller card and now slimline card. So I'm having to adjust once again to the size of a slimline card. And so like proportions are a little bit different. There we go. And I'm going to add a little bit of that green up top and then add my little buds. So in a perfect world, I'd probably have like a part of a buttercup at the top and the bottom, but let's just see how this goes. And I do want to add stick. And just see where we're at. Okay, maybe one just up there. Oh, my son's coming in. And he's diabetic, so he's coming to show me his levels. Tu as combien? Combien? Demande à papa de te piquer un. There we go. His levels, his glucose levels have a bit it's a bit tricky. Like, he was stable, and I don't know why now it's a bit difficult. So we're having to check on it. So just seeing how I can pop this one in. Oh, I'm going to pop it here like so. There we go. It's pretty. Okay, and now for the sentiment. Now this is where the fun thing is. There is a sentiment on the Buttercup die set. It's thank you. So I'm going to cut that out. Okay. There we go. So you've got the outline, and then you've also got like the inner parts, the words. So I'm going to cut that out from, let me just see, what color can I use? Maybe that, oh, I don't have enough green. No, that wouldn't work. Let's just go for a darker shade. Let's go with some black. I've got a leftover piece of black here. So I'm just going to snip out a piece, pop it onto there, and then just run that through the machine. So you could stamp, but you could also just use the sentiment here. So that's what's fun. Everything is in the set. You don't need to have an extra stamp. There we go. Oh, you started a scrapbooking too. Oh, Nancy, yeah, I know. I kind of have to push myself into the slimlines. And usually I think I like using them or making them. So here we've got thank, and then we've got the you. I'm just going to poke out the little centerpieces here. There we go. And this is such a cute little die. It's really, really, really lovely. There we go. Thank you. Okay. I might just use my tape roller for this. There we go. Oh, I like the black look on that card. Kind of just jumps at you. Thank you. There we go. Look at how pretty that is. I'm really happy how that one turned out. Sometimes I'm a bit baffled on how to place things. Now, the only thing I might add are maybe some enamel dots from altenew. So I think I might add a couple of, I'm going to go through my oranges. Let me just check. I don't know if they're going to be too orange. I don't want it to be too harsh. See, that's like that's a little bit too reddy orange. I've got some greens, but those are too like, okay, I'll just keep it like this. I think this is enough. Maybe if you like splatters, you could add splatters, but I'm just going to keep it like this. I might just pop down, remove, there we go, one light so that you can see the colors a little bit better. I hold it up, you can see. And you've got a little bit of dimension there because we use the foam and everything. So it's a really, really fun little set. And you can't see it that well on the screen. I'll hold it over here. But I do love that soft little background on there. Yeah, splatters or sequins. But there you have it. And you can make like framed images with these kind of sets and do that like in 3D and then frame it. That is really, really pretty. Tasneem, she did that once and it's really, really pretty. Ooh, let's pop this up. There we go. So there you have it. Whoops. There we go. This is the card. I'm going to try and hold it up to this camera. You can see it. So it's a really, really fun and easy set to use. So if you're hesitating, the crafter flowers are some of our easiest sets to use, and they layer up beautifully. You've got the examples on the back, and you can create any color you want if you go with the technique I used, where it was to create your own colored paper with the inks. So that way you can create, if you've got like lots and lots of inks, you can create lots and lots of colors and create flowers in lots of different shades, which is really, really great. Thank you so much for joining me today. Huge shout out for Oram, who was moderating and popping in all the products I used. And I'm so happy this turned out nicely, because slimline cards aren't my forte. I'm still learning to master the size, but I had so much fun. I really had fun with chatting with all of you and getting to learn you a little bit better. And we will pick a lucky winner and announce it shortly. So I'll see you very soon with more inspiration from altenew. Have a lovely day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And bye-bye, everyone.